It won't be like you're not a part of Facebook. You're not a part of Facebook.
My name's on the masthead.
You might want to check again.
Oh, if you already know the answers to your questions, then why ask?
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
I like the way you die, boy.
I don't want to be a product of my environment.
Now answer my question. Were you rushing or were you dragging?
My boy's awake at smile.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Film Fixation Podcast. My name's Jaron Allred. I'm joined here by my co-host, Austin Hyatt.
Hello.
We're going to get into it. We're talking about the movie Air today, about Michael Jordan and his deal with Nike. But before we get into that, let's talk about some film news. Austin, you want to kick us off?
Big week for trailers this week.
Yes.
The Barbie trailer came out, to our delight. It's wonderful. You know, I went back and watched it like 3 or 4 times this week.
Yeah, so did I.
Really?
Yeah.
I was just smiling ear to ear, dude. I mean, it's going to be great. It's going to be perfect. So,
yeah.
Then what else? There was the new Across the Spider-Verse trailer, which is...
Oh, we need to talk about Barbie some more.
Okay, let's talk about Barbie some more.
It just looks so perfect, man. I mean, I saw it, I watched it a bunch of times, but then it came on in the Air movie, and I was still just excited to see it again on the big screen. July 21st is going to be one of the best days for movies ever.
Yeah, Jaron and I are trying to figure out if we're going to see Barbie or Oppenheimer first. I said Barbie first.
Yeah.
I don't know what you...
Well, I was just like, let's see Oppenheimer, get us warmed up.
Right.
Get it out of the way so that we've you're still looking forward to Barbie, you know, because if we see Barbie, we're going to see film at its peak, and then we're going to get an Oppenheimer. I'm just going to want to go home or
that's absolutely true.
The next screening of Barbie,
right? You know? What I was worried about, fans, was that if we watch Barbie first, or no, if we watch Oppenheimer first, I'll be in a glum mood. And
yeah,
I'll be worried about what my interests are in cinema, and then we'll go to Barbie and I'll be taking it too seriously. But we'll figure it out. If you have any suggestions, let us know. We're gonna probably see Barbie twice that day, I would say.
Yeah,
at least
we should.
So
maybe we should keep Oppenheimer for July 22nd. I don't know. I mean, it's a Nolan film. His last one wasn't even that good. Tenet.
Yeah,
I
didn't even see it.
So you're not missing out. I mean, I didn't even know what I watched, honestly. So confusing, but
that's what I heard about it. So,
but yeah. Also, new Ari Aster movie, Beau is
Afraid.
What'd you think of that one?
I'm really excited for that. It's funny because I've really wanted to see it because I love Joaquin Phoenix. I've been trying to get my wife Grace to go with me, and she won't. She's like, it's going to be a scary movie. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's listed as a dark comedy.
Oh, really?
It's not even going to be bad. But then the trailer came out and it looks kind of scary.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, she's definitely not going with me. But it looks great.
I hope it's a little scary.
Yeah.
I saw a few things that kind of, there's the mannequin or whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. That looks spooky.
Yeah. So
I don't do well with the artificial dolls, stuff that looks like they're human but it's kind of off, you know.
That's what scares you.
Yeah, the uncanny valley, you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What do you think caused that?
I don't know.
One time my friend Jaron put a doll's head in an oven and cooked it.
That was you. I found it.
That was
no, you. We were hiding a doll's head everywhere around our house when we all lived together. And whoever found it, you had to chug a Mountain Dew or something.
I think it was a different game because we would ice each other.
Yeah,
with actual sodas. But I think it was just a joke to hide.
To hide it.
So I hid it in the
oven. Yeah.
Thinking for some dumb reason, because I forgot about preheating. I forgot that wasn't even
a thing. I just preheated the oven for some chicken fingers, and it was all melted in there.
But it's great.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that could have been the traumatic event that makes you afraid of things like that.
No, when I was a kid, R.L. Stein's Haunting Hour. Did you ever watch those?
No.
It's an hour-long Goosebumps, pretty much.
Right.
But the very first episode of the first season is about this life-size doll that comes to life, and it tries to take over this little girl's life, and she does, and it's the creepiest thing ever.
Wow.
Yeah, there's this one scene, the mom becomes like infatuated with the doll because it's becoming like her daughter, and the doll's like kind of tricking her, but she starts sleeping with the doll, and there's this scene where the doll, like, her older brother's like suspicious, starts recording in the corner of the room, and the doll like stands straight up in the bed, and it goes off frame, and then it pops up, and the screen goes static, and it terrified me as a child.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah, but okay, but yeah, so we're very excited for that one as well.
Yes, Barbie more afraid. Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
that looks great. I'm excited for that.
Oh yeah, that one looks good.
Same cast plus Oscar Isaac. It's gonna be really good.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's gonna be Spider-Man 2099.
He looked like he was the bad guy.
Yeah, more or less. So the main villain is gonna be Spot or whatever he is, that like interdimensional person, old guy.
Okay,
but then I think Oscar Isaac's Spider-Man 2099 is gonna be like the actual antagonist. Yeah. So we'll see.
And we'll see. All right. You want to walk us through the Star Wars news that happened?
Yeah, this weekend is Star Wars Celebration in London. If you don't know what that is, it's like a big Comic-Con for Star Wars. It's where Disney makes a lot of their announcements. And they gave us a lot of information on their new series. I know that's not really what we cover on this podcast, but what they did also was talk about their next 3 movies that are coming out. So one is a movie about the first Jedi. It takes place 25,000 years before the Skywalker saga, and it's going to be directed by James Mangold. So that one sounds, because he's the director of Logan.
Yep.
That one sounds
Ferrari as well.
Yeah. That one sounds like what I'll be most excited for.
That's definitely sounds the most promising.
Absolutely, yeah. You kind of got to take it with a grain of salt with Disney, because within the past 3 years they've had, with Star Wars, within the past 3 years, they've had 4 or 5 or 6 projects be announced and then canceled.
That's what I was confused about. Like, is Taika still getting his movie?
They say he is, yeah. They say it's still in active development, but for them to not talk about it at all as a big convention, that's what's kind of concerning. I know Rogue Squadron, that was being directed by the lady that directs Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Patty Jenkins.
I'm pretty sure that's shelved. That's not
really
done.
What about the Rian Johnson trilogy that he's supposed to get?
I'm pretty sure that's done.
Good.
I'm not sure though. Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah.
After
Glass Onion.
Yeah, after Glass Onion, and everything else he did with freaking Star Wars. But the second one that's going to come out, and this isn't in any order, but they announced it in like chronological in-universe order. So Dave Filoni is getting a movie that's going to be the conclusion of the Mandoverse. So I don't know. I'm not very excited about that.
Boba Fett going to be in it, or what about the biker gang?
Boba Fett and his biker gang, they're going to be in it. No, but Boba Fett is going to be in it. Probably. Boba Fett's going to be in it, Ahsoka, and The Mandalorian.
Wow.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have another podcast, a Star Wars podcast that I do with Spencer, who is never on this podcast anymore.
Yeah.
If you want to go check it out, you can hear my thoughts on Star Wars.
Heat of a court case.
Yeah.
Right now, we're still one. They won't give us the details.
Yeah, we're not at liberty to talk about it.
To decide on this. So,
but I heard they caught him with something else too in the meantime. So,
really?
Looking good for his case. Yeah.
Someone on his computer.
Yeah. So we'll see. And then real quick, the third movie that they announced for Star Wars is a continuation of the Skywalker saga, more or less.
Yeah.
It's going to be about Rey's new Jedi Order, and Daisy Ridley is returning to reprise her role as Rey Skywalker.
Oh my gosh.
Exciting.
That's horrible.
Dude,
I guess I'm actually indifferent. I don't know.
Yeah,
I want her. I like Daisy Ridley. I want
too.
her character to get some justice, because I feel like they never fleshed her out as a character. She never went through any sort of trials and stipulations or anything.
Absolutely.
She was just this perfect Jedi who is a Skywalker, I guess.
Right.
So,
But yeah, without getting too far into it, what Disney's doing is they're making their series kind of justify the sequel trilogy.
okay.
They're adding to the story to make it make sense. So I think it's a smart move for them to put a movie after it. I would rather they just leave the timeline alone, do something totally different.
Yeah.
But if they're putting a movie after it, they can say, like, this is actually how it turned out, and they can have a chance at redemption. But
Didn't they say they were done with the Skywalker
They did.
saga?
So, but they didn't say this would specifically focus on the Skywalker saga or anything, but Rey is going to be in it.
Okay.
You know, she just might not be the main.
There's Skywalkers in it. They're supposed self-proclaimed Skywalkers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's Star Wars news. That's
our-
going to be great, man.
Star Wars is also a film.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to talk about Air today, the movie. This one, quick synopsis. Courting a legend, Sonny Vaccaro and Nike pursue basketball rookie Michael Jordan. For those of you who don't know, Forrest, if you're listening, Michael Jordan, he played for the Bulls from 1986 to 1998, retired, and came back as a Wizard. But a pretty good basketball player from the research that I'm looking at right here.
You know, right?
Yeah, I heard he was pretty good. I don't know. He pushed off, I guess.
He did.
That one I do know. That's yeah, I watched his documentary. Definitely pushed off. So yeah, creating a partnership that revolutionizes the world of sports and contemporary culture. It is directed by Ben Affleck, and it stars Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Jason Bateman, Marlon Wayans, Chris Messina, and Chris Tucker and Viola Davis. And the reviews are looking pretty good. Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 92% critic score.
Wow.
And a 98% audience score.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the best I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
And then IMDb, it's got an 8 out of 10. And on Letterboxd, it is sitting at a 3.8 average. I gave it 4 stars myself.
As did I.
As did Austin. So let's get into it. Ben Affleck, pretty decent director from all of his projects that I've seen. Have you seen Argo?
I have not, no. That's been on my list for like 4 years. Just haven't gotten around to it. Started watching it on a plane, fell asleep. So,
Oh, really?
yeah.
How long was the flight?
Like 8 hours.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, you were when you summered and
when I summered in.
Yeah,
no big deal.
He's got 3 great movies. He's got Argo, which won Best Picture. The Town. Have you seen that?
I have not.
Great Boston movie. It's like a heist.
Right.
You haven't seen Heat either. Sorry, I'm exposing.
Yeah, you. I'm a cinemaphile. Okay, I watch stuff.
Yeah, Austin has seen over 750 movies. Okay?
Yeah. Check out my Letterboxd. Check my creds.
I'm 9 away from 1,000.
Wow. Congrats.
So thank you.
I've watched 60 movies this year. 65.
He's watched more movies than me this year.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to get there.
You're catching up. You're on a good pace. All right, and then Air. So,
right.
I mean, great directors always have like kind of a trifecta, 3 great movies at least. He's got his credentials here.
Did he not direct The Last Duel? I know that was kind of not amazing, but
let's see, did he?
I thought he directed The Last Duel and
no, The Last Duel was Ridley. Remember?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did they write the screenplay or did they both just get cast, Matt Damon and him? I thought they had some kind of writing credit.
Probably.
I might have just thought that because they were both in it.
Their Last Duel was directed by Ridley Scott.
That's insane. Wow.
Ben Affleck produced, and so did Matt Damon.
Yeah, but I guess that's pretty common.
And then Ben Affleck and Matt Damon also got writing credits.
Okay. That's
So,
where
yeah.
I was thinking of them.
So you were right. So yeah, I fully trust Ben Affleck with any project that he decides to take on. So let's just initial thoughts. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I read some reviews going in, which I've been trying not to do as much because it kind of taints my perception of the movie. But I was kind of expecting, what it is, like a mid-budget biopic about a story that I know, But I thought it was done really well. I mean, you can't write off Matt Damon. Great performance.
Yeah.
I mean, every performance in this movie was great. Viola Davis as well.
Yeah. Chris Tucker, too. I mean, I haven't seen him in, like, anything recently.
I don't even know.
Past, like, 5 years. Huh?
Is that the H guy?
Yeah, he's the black guy.
Yeah. Speaking of that, why does Marlon Wayans, why is he like the third name listed? He was in it for like 5 minutes.
That's what I was just thinking.
And then at the end credits, I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but they like included his story.
Yeah. He just has that scene at the bar. That's it.
Weird.
He had a nice monologue about Martin Luther King's speech.
Yeah.
And how he's got a hold of it. But seems like a weird thing to kind of just put in there. So what happened, I guess, is when Ben Affleck met Michael Jordan to meet about if he should make the movie or not, he's like, who do you need to be like included in this story? And he said, my mom. And then he said the Marlon Wayans character, who is, let me just pull up who he plays. George Raveling. He said George Raveling, because he was the one who got Nike like in contact with MJ in the first place. Who introduced them to each other. So I guess
that just could have been executed better then.
Yeah, it felt like a little throw-in thing probably to appease MJ.
Right.
But they did a good job with the mom and her inclusion in it.
Well, because that's what I read was that Michael specifically said Viola has to play my mom.
Yeah.
So like he went out and made that casting himself. And she was great,
Yeah, she was.
That's awesome.
They made a couple things up, though, from what I heard.
Okay. What are they?
Just one thing that she didn't negotiate the deal at the very end. Or that phone call never happened where Matt Damon called and she was the one who was like, MJ needs the direct profits from every, or like a partial from every shoe that's sold and everything that has his name on it. His agent negotiated that part of the deal.
Yeah. But it totally makes sense within the movie.
Yeah.
So like she's been the one negotiating. She's been the one speaking for Michael the whole time. Of course, she needs to be the one to close the deal.
Yeah.
Whereas the agent's portrayed as like an a-hole. Like if he would have been the hero of the story, it would have looked.
That's true. I mean,
even though in real life,
I have no problem with it.
Right.
The people need to know.
Yeah. Well, now, folks.
Everybody. Okay, good. But yeah, I liked it. I think I was expecting something a little bit different. My only problem with it is that I feel like the story, it's so like straightforward and it's a small, I don't know. It feels like there's not quite enough to make a movie about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Because you and I were talking about this. If you know the story going in,
you like sum it up in like a couple sentences. In one sentence.
Like that Nike wasn't the premier shoe of the NBA.
Yeah.
Didn't make great basketball shoes. They got Michael Jordan on a risk and it totally changed their company forever. And it made him a billionaire. That's pretty much the story.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we both watched The Last Dance.
Yeah.
And they touch on it a little bit.
Right.
Obviously, it's like, okay, MJ didn't want to go to the meeting. His mom made him. They gave him an offer that was better than everybody else. Nobody could match it. And then from, there on, he made Nike the most famous shoe brand in the world.
Right.
But I don't know. It felt like a little bit, they're making it more stagey and more overdramatic than the events really were.
Right.
Because I thought like the climax was going to be like the meeting taking place. And then the meeting was like 5 minutes long. It was, if even 5 minutes.
And it was a good scene, right? What I didn't like was the fallout after that. Because the rest of the movie was literally just him like walking around doing it, sunny.
Yeah.
Caro just living his life, kind of waiting on the call, getting the call, and then them celebrating.
Yeah.
Like, we knew at the end of that meeting Michael was going to go with Nike.
Yeah.
Of course, because it's a story that's 40 years old.
You knew?
I knew going in. Yeah.
Really?
So I think they could have just ended it at that meeting.
Yeah.
Even include, because if you're already taking artistic liberties and having Viola Davis, Dolores negotiating the deal, why don't you just have her do it in that meeting? I don't know.
Yeah.
And make that.
So that was what was wrong too, is that was brought up in the meeting in real life. Was that part of the
so
contract?
why not just do that?
I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know.
He's gonna make me go back and move it down to 3.5.
No, I mean, yeah. So just a few things were just off, and I feel like, have you seen Moneyball? You have.
I have.
Okay. That does a great job of getting you inside of like what it's like to be a baseball manager.
Right.
I didn't feel like we got to see all of the little intricacies that are a part of being a salesman for Nike and trying to sign on these athletes. And in Moneyball, it's so cool, it's so slick, and Brad Pitt is so charismatic. And then Damon, I mean, all he does is really just kind of fly out and meet the mom for 5 minutes. And it's so I feel like it was so oversimplified. Yeah. All of the little things that went into it.
Well, that's the thing. That's one element that I really liked that, like you're saying, could have been played on more.
Okay.
Is, what's his name? Chris Tucker? Howard White.
Yeah.
Character. When they're in the meeting room and he's like relating to Michael's dad and mom. And he's like, yeah, these white people run around without umbrellas. Like, it's crazy. And they're like sharing a moment and actually connecting. And he's using like who he is and kind of a sales pitchy thing to connect with them.
I did like that.
More to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, like, if they would have included more of that kind of stuff, because I'm sure there was a lot of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, on the other hand, I really did like the way Sonny connected with her too. I don't know what I was trying to say with that, but
no, I get you.
Some of those elements that were included for like literally
more
5 seconds.
Aspects to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, like we said, like, this isn't a very exciting story about Michael Jordan. Like, if you're going to tell a story about Michael Jordan's life that's not about basketball, focus on his gambling or something. You know what I mean? Like, that would be more exciting. I'm just kidding. No, but like, you could make
it shown that in the little highlight clip that they showed. Like that one interview he does where he's got the glasses on and they're like, do you feel like you have a gambling problem? No, I don't feel like I have a gambling problem. If I did, I'd be hooking my ring, my watch. I'd be hungry. So I can quit when I want to. But yeah.
Well, yeah, they should have done it that way. But like,
or the golfing he did,
right?
Read golf.
Yeah,
36 holes and then go drop 50 on the Cavs.
Like, you could make a movie, and again, I liked this movie.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, that the story isn't that exciting or interesting. You could make a story about Michael's life off the court.
Yeah.
Include those cool elements about how loving he is towards his parents and make it work with a more interesting part of his life.
Or make a casino movie,
Yeah.
That could also work. You could have made a baseball movie, a golf movie, a basketball movie, but you made a sneaker movie.
Right.
A Nike propaganda movie.
That's all it was.
Exactly. Okay. What else did I?
I liked Ben Affleck's bare feet.
Yeah. Good.
Because I saw his wiener in Gone Girl. And I've seen his feet. I've seen like all of that guy.
You saw the side of it.
Yeah.
Gone Girl.
Yeah. So we're just waiting on some more.
Yeah.
For the next movie.
There was something else that I...
No, but I mean, I really liked this movie. It was... And I read somewhere that Matt and Ben have just created a company to like empower writers to make more movies like this.
Yeah.
Kind of like simple mid-budget movies.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good because that's what a lot of people complain about not being in theaters anymore.
Yeah.
Like everybody complains that everything's a franchise or a sequel or a superhero movie or a dinosaur movie.
Yeah.
But but movies like this, even though they aren't, you know, gonna be huge award winners or anything like that, they're still great things to go see in the theater.
No, exactly.
I would
think
like-
this will be great for
Yeah.
for film. And it's also like the cast and crew, the crew who made the movie get some of the proceeds.
Yeah.
Which is nobody's ever done that before. So
Yeah, which is awesome.
however well the movie does is however much, more those guys make. So
So if you're listening, go see it in theaters.
yeah.
Go up that box office for these people.
And you know what's good? They really don't make movies like this anymore, where it's like for more like adults. It's not about a superhero or a dinosaur. It's the target demographic is more like 20s and up. So it's refreshing to see a movie like that.
That was one thing, kind of adjacent to that point, is one thing I didn't love was all the 80s jokes they made.
Oh, really?
Like a lot of the jokes or the comical points where a lot of my theater laughed was like the hindsight moments. Like, for example, one that I thought was actually funny was when they said something like, nobody wants to see Charles Barkley on television.
Yeah, I love that. I thought that was hilarious. I was the only one laughing at that. Nobody else in the theater understood it.
So I thought it was really funny because I was watching via TV or see the highlights or whatever.
On TNT, and
yeah,
he's the best part, yeah.
But I feel like there were a lot of jokes like that where it's like, oh, it's funny in hindsight, but it seemed kind of unnatural saying it back then.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That does.
But that shows that it was made for an older demographic, like you're saying.
Yeah. Dude, I had a cringy lady in my theater. She was really, Spencer and I saw this together, but she was old.
Forrest didn't go with you?
Oh, yeah, he did, yeah.
Okay.
That's right. He was there.
Dude,
sorry. Forrest was being a jerk, bro. But she was laughing at every single little thing and very, very loud. And it was extremely distracting. It was worse than the stench from John Wick 4 and from Spencer sitting next to me. So that when they go to the meeting with Adidas and it pans from the statue and it's got male genitalia on it, this lady's like 67 years old and she's laughing out loud like for 30 seconds because she saw the male genitalia on the statue.
Then that is funny. She's got a good sense of humor.
She does. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so it is.
That's crazy.
Forrest was like, "Bro, I'll give you $100. Tell her to shush." And I was like, "Dude, no,
you should have."
No, dude, I'm not. And he's like $200. And I thought in my head, I was like, "What is my price to just ruin this lady's night?"
You ruined yours. Like you're sitting here a week later.
Well, she doesn't know. I can deal with it.
Yeah,
people ruin my night all the time. I just. Just deal with it.
Yeah.
Just go take a nap.
That's healthy. That's good.
Yeah. No, but then if I said shush, it was going to be a scene or whatever, and then she was going to be thinking about it all night and on her way home. And she was there like with her daughter, who was like in her 40s, and that would have been embarrassing. It's a horrible thing to do. Tell her to shush when she's just, laughing at, 90% of the movie.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
But yeah,
I'm glad you didn't then.
Yeah, no, me too. All right, why don't we get into some of the categories here?
Okay.
What was your favorite part? Do you want some choices?
Yeah, do you have choices for me? Yeah.
Yeah, just off the top of my head. Let's think. The meeting. Got the meeting.
I think I'm excited to hear your choices, but
because there's not really a lot of great scenes in this. It kind of all just flows.
But it flows well.
It does.
That being said, I think the 3 meetings were great. Were like really well executed. I like when he sat with her at her home, with Dolores at her home. Sonny sat with Dolores. He was like, "Here's what's going to happen at Converse. Here's what's going to happen at Adidas."
Yeah.
And then it was cool that she went to those meetings and they obviously put all those details in there. I liked those.
When the meeting at her home was so quick, I thought.
Yeah.
He flew all the way to Carolina to meet with her for like 2 seconds. But what about when they met with Peter Moore? That guy.
Oh, the shoe designer?
The shoe designer, yeah. For the first time.
That was great. That was cool.
That was good. That guy was a cool character.
Yeah.
Reminds me of somebody. I don't know. The shoe. I don't know.
Do you know a shoe designer?
No, I was going to say Spencer. We name drop those guys so much.
Yeah. We should just make a podcast about Forrest and Spencer.
And then, okay, so the meetings, the phone call, also with Viola Davis and Matt Damon, where they're discussing the terms.
I didn't like that.
You didn't like that?
Not very much, no.
Yeah, me neither.
Because at that point, it felt unnecessary.
Yeah.
But it was cool, because that's one part I didn't know about the deal. Well, okay, I knew that about the deal, that obviously Michael got a cut of the shoes revenue.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know Sonny Vaccaro was part of the NIL NCAA thing where they get...
Oh, the epilogue part? Yeah.
So that was cool as a segue.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it didn't need to be told, and it could have just been told at the end in the epilogue where they're giving us the facts on the screen.
Yeah, that's true. I did feel like it dragged on a little bit at the end there. That's pretty much it.
Any other meetings?
I'd say the meeting, just Affleck showing up a little bit late. He was
that was funny.
That was kind of cringe, the way he executed that. And then Matt Damon gives his little monologue.
Mm.
It seemed a little forced to me. It sounds like I hate this movie, but I did like it. It's slick, and it's about stuff that I care about.
Well, yeah, here's the thing is, like you said, it's a story that doesn't really need to be dramatized.
Yeah.
So when you're sitting there watching it, you're like, this isn't how it played out.
Yeah.
It wasn't this dramatic. It wasn't this heartfelt.
We're too familiar with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So and it felt a little bit like, do you really think Sonny Vaccaro knew, like, how big that MJ was going to be?
Well, that's what I'm saying about what I didn't like about the hindsight.
Yeah.
Because, of course, we're sitting here in 2023 watching it, and we know Michael Jordan's going to be the greatest basketball player of all time.
Mm-hmm.
The reason Sonny was probably on the chopping block was because he probably said this semi-frequently about players that, like, we need to sign them, we need to bet on them because they're going to be the next big thing.
Yeah.
It's like, you can always say that about everybody. And then when you make it right one time, it's going to look great, but you got it wrong 50 times.
I don't think he did have like a gut feeling about him.
Right.
But it definitely, he happened to be right. He didn't just know that Michael Jordan was going to win multiple. And he's analyzing the shot from North Carolina when he won the national championship. And the little details that he analyzed that with, I was like, okay, they drew up a play for him,
His reasoning was his coach trusted him and he wasn't stressed.
Yeah.
Like he was cool.
Look how relaxed he is. He's got his arms are like relaxed.
From those 2 points of reference, you're going to say he's going to be the greatest basketball player.
I've seen high schoolers do the exact same thing. So,
yeah.
Not,
but we like.
but it is on the biggest stage in college sports.
I've seen high school players do the exact same thing.
But yeah, it definitely felt like they were just trying to. Oh, we knew all along. And
of course.
I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah,
and they poke fun at it with the guy in the gas station, who's like, ragging on MJ.
Yeah,
the first time they meet, and then after he's like, "Oh man, we should have."
We all knew
him over boo. He's like, "Of course, I knew. Everybody knew, man."
Yeah,
but nobody really did.
Well, so maybe that is the case because by highlighting that with that line, maybe Sonny really was like obsessive about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is easy for everybody to say, "Yeah, we always knew,"
Yeah.
You could be watching his 6th championship and be like, yeah, I've been a fan of him since North Carolina. I always knew he was going to be great.
Yeah.
And that's super easy to say, but maybe Sonny did have some tuition. I don't know.
And also Viola Davis, his mom, who said he's going to win multiple championships, multiple MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year awards. And nobody had ever done that at the time. Won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. So I seriously doubt that she said that over the phone to Sonny Vaccaro.
And that's what I wondered too. Was that like a part of his game at North Carolina? Do you know?
No, he wasn't like
a well-rounded
He
player
was
like
a
that.
hustle guy, but
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan was a great defender. He did win Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
But no, that's definitely wasn't what he was known for at North Carolina.
Because just for her to say that, it's so unnatural.
Yeah.
You know, like you're saying.
That's how it felt. So yeah.
Would you rather recommend this or The Last Dance?
The Last Dance. Definitely. I've watched The Last Dance like 3 times.
Me too.
All the way through. That gets me hype.
It's
I've
great.
got like a big basketball game coming up or something. I start like episode 7. No, episode 5. Like the Kobe one. That one gets me hype.
There you go.
So yeah.
It is so good though. I mean,
It is great. Go see it. I mean, 4 stars. That just means that's what Boston and I both gave it, but that means we generally, enjoyed it. 4.5. It's like we're too scared to give it 5.
Yep.
And then 5 is like masterpiece. Wouldn't change anything about it.
yeah. Sometimes some of my 5s are like, maybe it's not the best thing ever made, but I just loved
It's
it
sentimental.
more than anything. Like Arrival. A lot of people don't love Arrival, but that's like
That's a
5
5
movie for me.
Really.
Cusco's New Groove, 5-star movie for me.
What did you like about Arrival?
I'm really into linguistics.
Okay.
just the way, I don't really love non-linear storytelling usually,
Okay.
but the way it's told in Arrival, where you start out with her daughter, I don't want to give anything away if anybody hasn't seen
Well, it's fine.
it. Okay, but
Well, she's translating. I've seen it. I gave it, I think, 4 stars.
yeah, first off, you've got Denis, who's one of my favorite directors.
Mhm.
He just has a great thing with, like, in his cinematography, the sense of scale.
That's true.
And so these giant ships come to Earth, and she's tasked, along with the scientist, of communicating with these aliens, and they communicate in a totally foreign way. No vocal, and they have, like, some sort of written language, but it's really hard to decipher. It ends up they communicate through time and all these other things, but it's a great movie. And I love Amy Adams.
Yeah.
Great performance from her. But
Great movie. Go see Arrival.
all that to say, that's a 5-star movie for me when it's not for other people. So
Yeah.
4 stars, like you said, it's a good movie. I would recommend it to almost everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, you need to get in the theaters right now,
Yeah, exactly.
but
Like, it
What
was
movie
good.
did
It's
we
got
watch
our,
tonight?
our
Yeah.
stamp of approval.
right,
Pretty
exactly. Yeah.
You know what I also not necessarily didn't like it, but I was looking out for it the whole time, is how they were going to use the camera to not show, like, Michael Jordan's face,
Mm-hmm.
or, like, you're not going to hear his voice or anything, and how they navigated that. It was a little distracting on the first viewing. I feel like
Yeah.
if I watch it again for a second time, I'll be more relaxed about it. Like, I know they're not going to show his face here. Like, he's turning, and
Mm-hmm.
he's at the back of the shot. You kind of see him in the corner of the camera a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And it was kind of weird. It was kind of distracting.
Yeah, I agree with you on how it was executed. I think it was a great creative choice to not show an actor to portray Michael Jordan. Like, we talked about that before. Michael Jordan is...
What about Ryan Gosling? What do you
He
think?
could have done it.
That's what
He could have done it, yeah.
I was like, if you're not going to get Ryan Gosling to play MJ, then just keep him out of the movie. That's probably what happened. They probably approached him.
He couldn't do it.
He was doing Barbie.
Exactly.
Yeah. Good choice by Ryan. I mean, he would have been great as MJ. You'd have to show him on the court, too.
You know what? I think he passed for a better... Like, they're going to make him an MJ movie in the future.
Oh, really?
That's going to be a better story, not this Nike deal. And he said, I'll wait for that one.
Okay, good. Yeah.
To play a 20-year-old Michael Jordan. But no, yeah, I think, like, you can't cast somebody to play Michael Jordan. especially in a movie that's kind of not about his basketball career, where he's just like a stand-in. That's all he would be.
Yeah.
Of course. So great choice, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was a great choice. Just a little distracting.
Yeah.
Because I was purposely like waiting for them to slip up or something, or kind of show the corner of his face at certain points. So,
but I also didn't like where they kind of portrayed him as like pouty. Like,
yeah, they
doing
kind
so,
of. Well, he is kind of an asshole.
yeah, like that's well documented, and he's like reserved.
Yeah,
But I don't know. It just made him seem like a bratty little teenager that didn't want to be there.
yeah.
Maybe that's how
pretty
it
much
played out.
Is when Jason Bateman makes that joke about air and stuff, and then he just doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
That was rude.
Yeah.
That was Jason Bateman was just trying to make a connection with the guy, man, and he just blew him off. It kind of altered my perception of MJ
of the actual MJ.
Yeah, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it. You messed up for me too. That's the hard thing when you're dealing with these crazy historical figures, especially modern ones like that.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever creative choices you make, it's gonna kind of tarnish their image,
Yeah,
more or less, or at least warp your perception of them. So,
yeah, that's true.
in fact, I was kind of surprised Phil Knight played such a huge role.
Really?
For me, he's like a pretty modern icon.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that a lot of people know much about his personality. I certainly don't. But I thought it was weird that he was so heavily involved. Ben Affleck plays Phil Knight, who was the founder and CEO of Nike.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyway, it's a different thing altogether. I guess it's not a story about Phil Knight, so you can have him as like an auxiliary character.
Yeah.
And give him a personality and everything. But I just thought, if you're going to, anyway.
But yeah, Ben Affleck was great. No weak links, I don't think, in this film at all. I mean, everybody was solid.
Yeah, no.
I mean, like, surprisingly good. Like, Chris Tucker, Viola Davis, just, steady, amazing. Matt Damon, he's got better performances, but
Absolutely, yeah.
there's never a movie where he's, like, bad in it. He's just Matt Damon, so he's good.
I think he was great. The one performance I didn't love was the agent.
The Agent.
Just felt a
place a little, like, comic, over the top.
Yeah, when he's like yelling at him on the phone, and it's just like all those profanities in a row.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem really
That's
realistic.
when the lady next to me was just dying laughing.
Really?
So I couldn't even hear what he was saying. It was maddening. Probably hurt my rating a little bit.
Really?
How annoyed I was the whole time watching this.
It just felt like something I would say to you, like if you called out my voice crack on Warzone or something.
We don't
like
talk
that.
like that.
We don't. Well, no, I wouldn't say those profanities. But I was like, I just don't see anybody in the real business world talking like that. Maybe it was different.
I would have just hung up, and Matt Damon's just like egging him on. And
every other performance was great.
Yeah.
I just thought he was a little too like a caricature of whoever that guy is.
Too caricature-y.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure thing.
All right. Is this... What was your least favorite part, actually? What was your least favorite part?
Probably that.
Yeah.
Probably almost every scene with the agent in it.
Okay.
But
that makes sense.
What about you?
That or the epilogue a little bit. They should have just ended it a little bit earlier, I feel like. And then... No, that was probably it. I loved everything with like Jason Bateman when he was in it.
Yeah.
And when Ben Affleck and him were talking, and so it's probably just the agent.
Yeah.
I loved Sonny Vaccaro's like interactions with pretty much everybody else. So
lovable character.
Yeah. Let's see.
Why would this movie be canceled today? We usually do that one.
Yeah. Is this the greatest movie ever?
It could be.
Could be.
It's like the third best. Wait. Okay.
The third best what?
I was. Never mind.
Is it the best movie about sneakers ever?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely is. There's another one.
Like Mike, where the kid finds...
I saw that when I was probably 5 years old, so I don't know.
I've never seen it.
It used to play on Disney Channel, didn't it?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
Nah, I'm sure there's a few.
I used to read this book about Michael Jordan. I don't remember the contents at all, but it was called Salt in His Shoes.
Yeah.
And it talked about how his mom would put salt in his sneakers.
What? Why?
Make him jump higher.
Does that work?
This was like an elementary school book, that Michael Jordan probably wrote with some author just as a passive form of income. I bet I could read it all right now.
Okay.
But that's a good form of Michael Jordan sneaker media.
Okay. There's so many weird things that we thought were going to make us better, like basketball players growing up. When I remember, I thought that Ray Allen put magnets in his socks for some reason to make his three-point shot better or more accurate, or to help his stance. I don't know. So I put magnets. I taped them to my calves, and I put them in my socks for like a month or something.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Does it?
Do you know why that makes sense?
No.
I can explain it to you.
Because it keeps my feet closer?
Yeah. Square stance.
Okay.
Those magnets pulling together.
Well, they weren't very powerful. I probably just caught them off my fridge.
Well, Ray Allen can pay for the powerful ones, so.
Okay. So I needed to get the powerful ones. Yeah. Okay. So I was right.
You were right.
Okay. Maybe I'll bring that back. I'll try it out. Somebody sees me with magnets on it, rec center, roast me.
Yeah, it looked like one of those house arrests.
Yeah, they'll probably
think you're next con.
Shoe movies, The Cobbler. That's Adam
Sandler.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it. I guarantee that's not a good movie.
Yep,
I hate Adam
guarantee
Sandler
as well. I have not.
Let
seen
it be known.
If we haven't seen it, it's not a good movie. That's straight up.
Oof. I watched 2001: A Space Odyssey for the first time last night. So,
and you've seen it,
and now I've seen it.
Perfect.
I haven't seen The Godfather though, so that's probably shit.
We're gonna get to those. You're never gonna get to
like
this
Monday.
If we want to watch it, then it's gonna
exactly. Yeah, it's on my watch list. It's a great movie. Probably.
Exactly. That's pretty much it. So yeah, I'd say best shoe movie of all time. Best movie about Nike.
There's got to be another movie about Nike. Huh?
Maybe.
What else would there be? What am I even saying? Yeah, this is the best Nike movie of all time.
That's true. Best movie about MJ. Last Dance has got to be just.
Yeah, I guess if you count limited series,
it's a documentary. Yeah, that's better. Way better.
Yeah, and if you're gonna go see this movie, I recommend seeing The Last Dance first.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. That's what I liked because the relationship with his mom and his dad meant so much more to me.
Yeah,
like knowing. Oh my gosh,
that's one of the saddest. Though you'll know that he signs with Nike. Oh, yeah. But I was playing Rec like the day before I saw this movie, and I saw a kid with Jordans on, and I'm like, bro, like
spoiling it.
I have to see Air.
Seen Air.
Didn't know that he signed with Nike. You jerk.
No, but that's one of my favorite episodes in The Last Dance is when his dad dies.
Yeah,
gets murdered, and it talks about like when that picture of him holding the trophy.
Yeah,
dad's like right there on his shoulder, on his shoulder. It's just sweet, man.
Yeah.
So going into the movie, knowing all that stuff
made it better.
Made it great. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, not the greatest movie ever, but we had the argument and we settled it. So,
greatest shoe movie ever for sure.
Greatest shoe movie ever. Why would this film be canceled today? It's hard to say because it just came out.
If you cast Ryan Gosling as Michael Jordan,
that would make it timeless, in my opinion.
Barrier breaking.
Another timeless Ryan Gosling performance is MJ. Yeah, that'd be so great to talk about like 20 years from now. Remember when Ryan Gosling was MJ?
Yeah.
It'd be an all-timer. Yeah, really, really nothing. I don't know. Just some of the facts being wrong. That's probably it.
Yeah.
But none of the major facts were wrong. A lot of it was right. Pretty much all of it was accurate, MJ wanted the car.
Right.
That's what they wanted from the deal. Adidas and Converse weren't going to match it. Adidas was going through that time where their founder had just died, who was a Nazi.
Yeah, Adolf was his name.
Yeah.
If you didn't know.
And Converse wasn't going to give him the he was never going to be better than Magic and
Bird and
Bird
Magic,
and
yeah.
Julius in there.
Which he wasn't.
Which, yeah, no, he pushed off, people. He wasn't the greatest basketball player ever. Neither is LeBron. All right.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, really, really nothing to use.
Could you imagine if John Stockton got that Nike deal, dude?
Yeah, I mean, they were considering
They
him.
talked about it. How much better this movie would have been.
They're going to Gonzaga to recruit John Stockton. What if that was like the twist in the movie? Is that they're actually they're gonna like Quentin Tarantino it, where
exactly,
it's like a
that's
different
what I was gonna
reality,
say.
and they're gonna go after John Stockton,
That would have been awesome.
and then he wins those 2 finals because he's got the Jordans on his.
And he pushes off of Jordan.
He's got the Stocktons on his feet.
Wow,
Yeah,
that'd be great.
that would be. All right. Well, we already kind of touched on the facts about production pretty much this whole time. But what I heard is there was a screenwriter who wrote this movie, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
2020.
Yeah, in
Like he saw The Last Dance on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
And wrote the story afterwards.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I read. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we read the same thing. But then Ben Affleck and Matt Damon picked it up. They, made edits to it. But when it was coming out, the original screenwriter was expecting like a partial credit at least,
Yeah.
But Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were like, no, man, we're going to give you sole credit,
Mm-hmm.
which is amazing.
Yeah, good
Because
dudes.
they're like, when we wrote Good Will Hunting, we had a lot of people help us out to get us started. So we're going to pay it back and give you sole credit, which is, that's such a great,
So cool.
yeah. And imagine if those people hadn't paid it back didn't help Ben Affleck and Matt Damon so
Yeah.
much, we'd have never got like,
One of the best movies.
yeah, Good Will
out there.
Hunting and everything that they've went on to do would have deprived the world of some great movies and performances.
We wouldn't have had to see The Martian. I know you hate that movie too, don't
I
you?
love that movie.
You like The
Are
Martian?
you joking?
Yeah, I am.
God. Do you like it, right?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, good. He's just surviving out there, man. I usually don't like Matt Damon that much, honestly.
Right.
Because sometimes he plays despicable characters like in The Departed and Interstellar,
Right.
and he's really good at it. So it's hard to, he's got a face, I don't know. I have weird opinions on Matt Damon, but I love him. I love him in everything he's in. So,
Well, obviously, in real life, he's a good dude.
yeah.
I think if him and Ben are making this company that's going to contribute to new and upcoming artists and
Mhm.
writers, just a good dude. Solid dude.
Just great dudes.
Yeah.
All right. Any other facts about the production you want to?
No, that was all I
Yeah.
had, so
Pretty much it. All right. Well, I saw Super Mario Bros.
I haven't yet, so
I haven't
don't
seen it,
spoil
so I'm not going to spoil it.
spoil anything.
I thought it. Just kidding. I mean, you saw my review. I thought it was okay. A little disappointing for me, but
Your review seemed consistent with everybody else's.
really,
Like that it was a little too fast paced and there wasn't very much of a story.
mine was different. Mine was cooler.
It seems like you copy and pasted somebody else.
I try not to read other people's reviews before at least on Letterboxd. I'll scroll through a couple of Rotten Tomatoes ones.
I reviewed a movie a couple weeks ago. It must have been one of the John Wicks. And then I read yours. And we talked about like 3 or 4 or 5 of the same things.
Yeah.
Jaren's going to think I copied his review.
Sometimes I'll see a movie that you've seen that I hadn't seen. I'll see your review, and I just won't even write one because I'm like, I'm going to touch about the same things that.
Right.
Well, I'm like, he put it so beautifully that I
Thank you, dude.
don't think I can add to this. Just read Austin's review.
That's how I feel too. I feel like yours are like in depth and actually take care of what's talked about. So sometimes I'll read a review of yours and I'll just put a joke in my Letterboxd review, and that's my review.
Yeah.
I should start putting like C Jaren Allred's reviews for my thoughts.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we'll talk about that probably a little bit next time.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll see it Monday.
And then, is it time to get into one of the classics again, or what are we thinking?
Yeah, dude, let's do it. We've got a couple requests in the bank. We've
Yeah.
still got 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
We could do a classic that we like. I just watched 2001. We could talk about that. That's a little too interpretive for me, though. I don't know if I can.
That would be awesome. But we also, I mean, I kind of picked Bloodsport. I mean, I know you loved it.
Yeah.
So this one should be more your decision. You want to do Butch Cassidy, Sundance Kid, which I also just saw, which I love.
My phone's up here.
I would love to do that one.
Yeah.
I have thoughts on that.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I've been watching, because we've both been watching some Paul Newman movies.
Yeah.
I've been watching a bunch of Robert Redford movies. We could do like his late 60s, early 70s movie roundup of those actors.
Oh,
or
yeah.
something.
I can't believe I didn't really know about Paul Newman before I saw
Yeah.
Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid.
Well, I knew him as like a fashion guy.
Oh,
Like,
really?
he dressed really well, and he was just like the coolest guy of the 60s. He's a race car driver. Like, I just knew he was cool. And he has that salad dressing company.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Newman John.
He's Doc Hudson in Cars.
Yes, that's his highest grossing movie. That was his last role.
That's crazy.
But it's cool because he was an actual race car driver. So
Wow.
that translates too. But
He's a cool guy.
Yeah,
You watch him in Cool Hand Luke.
I'm going to, yeah. I'll watch it tonight probably.
Okay.
Or tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll watch it this week.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Um,
You should watch him in The Sting, because he's with Robert Redford in The Sting as well. It's not as good as Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, but
okay.
it won Best Picture. Pretty good movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll watch that. All right. So we'll see. We'll see what we'll talk about. But thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for fixating on film with us.